All right, everybody. Today is not gonna be fun, man. Oh, I thought I had it rough. Damn, this sucks, man. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a couple more seconds to get in here, but we're gonna get it right off. Literally get right into it, and I am just in shock. I've been watching a live stream for almost 2 hours, bouncing around between different channels, between John, what's up, CB? How you doing, brother? If you can read it, there was actually a group of them. There was, I think, like 4, 5, 6 of them, and they were all out there open carrying, or not open carrying. I'm sorry. These guys were First Amendment auditors, and they were out at the port of Tampa at the carnival. I guess it's the Carnival Cruise Line, whatever, something to that effect. But they were out there. They actually brought paperwork that came straight from the port. There was no mention that they could not be in there with their cameras and record. They have paperwork. They actually went through the process of going to the tax collector's office, and they got information that it was entrance 3 or whatever it was called. That entrance was a state and city funded area. So that's under the law, under state law. They could have gone in there and basically, go in there and record, long as they weren't going past a certain area. And that was basically for the people that have tickets that go through the entrance, they have to check your bags, all that stuff. They were in the public areas of a glass front building. Like, they say that they couldn't record, but it's nothing but glass to look into this building. So a lot of it doesn't make sense. What happened to these guys was just a complete deboggle, and they, once again, they screwed up. There were numerous people that were trying to let them know, hey, they're doing something constitutionally protected. And Hillsborough Sheriff's Department or Sheriff's Office or whatever, they wanted them trespassed. They got a hold of the port. The port said, you're trespassed, and they were sitting there and they were like, hey, this is our right. And that is that police intimidation that police try to do. They really try to say, hey, they want to push it to that point. And unfortunately, Rouge Nation and Dr. Shawn Berry, they both got arrested today. They were doing what they normally do. They do First Amendment audits. They go out and they record in public. And I mean, the fact that they had all this documentation that proved that the area that they were in was it was either owned or paid for by the city or by the state, which allows that to be a public area, other than restricted areas. So they couldn't go into the restricted parts if they didn't have a ticket. Obviously, they couldn't go into the restricted area. Never stepped foot in there. I guess they had been back there previously, like a year ago or something to that effect. And they were like, hey, you can't do this, so they left. And then they went and got all the documentation clearly stating that it was a state funded or state owned property. Second, inside the Port Authority, there was no mentions of them not being able to video record at all in other than in restricted areas. Restricted areas, just like for me, just like for anybody, we can't go there with cameras. We can't go there with our firearms, and that's fine. I'm okay with restricted area. I'm not really okay with the restricted areas. I should be able to go anywhere and everywhere in a public building, but that's their law. That's the way that runs. Not my thing. I'm gonna follow the law to a T so I don't get arrested. And these guys, they followed the law to a T, and went beyond. They had paperwork and documentation proving that they were allowed to do it, allowed to video record in those areas that they were allowed. And then B, they actually went an extra step and got documentation from the tax collector that clearly states that where they were at was funded by the state or the city, either one, it doesn't matter. So they're allowed to be in all the public accessible areas other than restricted areas. But I do have links in the description below. There's a link of Rouge Nation, him going live. It's roughly about a 30-minute video. When they get arrested, you know, the officer takes his camera and all that stuff, turns his camera off, which once again, those are going to be violations that they will deal with in time. But right now, they are in jail. I've got links in the description below. One is going to be for Rouge Nation, specifically him. I didn't see anything for Dr. Shawn Berry for anything for him, but I made a GoFundMe. So there's a GoFundMe for Dr. Shawn Berry. If Rouge Nation needs help as well, I can, you know, this money will come to me and then I'm going to give it all to them, because we really need to try to either help get these guys out or help them with any kind of legal, legal counsel that they're going to need, because this is going to be this is a serious violation of their civil rights, and the fact that they had all this documentation and they didn't care is just like mind blowing. And you know, the worst part is the same principle when I've gone out and open carried, and I've carried the Florida statute with me, and it's just like, hey, here it is, here's the statute, here's all the information you need, and they don't even want to read it. So I'm gonna hop up in here and see what you guys are doing. We got CB, he's hanging out. Man, I hate this freaking mouse, man. This mouse sucks. Not my normal mouse. But we got CB hanging out. We've got Chud327. We've got Johnny F Face. The rest was ridiculous. It was totally ridiculous. We've got Dennis Eggleston here. We've got Sam Farmley. John Felix. And God, I'm gonna change this mouse out right now because I hate this mouse. But like I said, man, what I witnessed today, I was watching. I caught the first live stream, and then they were going somewhere else. And when they got to the port, they definitely had some issues. And once again, if anybody here can help do whatever you can. I'm not telling you to, but these guys are actually really good First Amendment auditors. Rouge Nation and Dr. Shawn Berry, they're not antagonistic. They recite law to a T. They bring paperwork to tell you that they can do these things, and they just don't even care. Angel Figueroa is here. Construction of Soul. What happened was we had two gentlemen doing a First Amendment audit at the port of Tampa, and they were at the Canaveral cruise line, and what they were doing was completely lawful because they actually had the documentation from the port that stated that they could do it. And then also they went to the tax collector to get documentation if it was a city or privately funded. Anything that is done by the city, state, or even federal, the certain aspects of federal is going to be different. So we're going to stick to city and state because that's what it was. It was the money was coming. There was money coming from the state, so it was a state-funded entity, which allows anybody to access publicly accessible areas other than restricted. And that's what First Amendment's all about, is going into the places and holding people accountable and knowing our public officials and all that. So they're going to need a lot of help. They are going to the Hillsborough County Jail today. Hopefully I'm really hoping that they do get out before anything. Go to their channel, Rouge Nation and Dr. Shawn Berry. I didn't put their YouTube links in, but just type in Dr. Shawn Berry, Rouge Nation, and they should pop up. And they were both, like I said, they were arrested today for expressing their rights, and they had a bunch of tyrants. There are 3 tyrants there. As soon as I already did a public records request for any information and all information of that. So as soon as I get that information, I'm going to share it out with you guys. Rouge Nation will probably do it a lot probably a lot quicker than I will, because he's directly involved, or Dr. Shawn Berry. There's other people, John Felix. Man, I can't. There were so many people out there, I can't remember them all. But yeah. And let's see here. Yeah, Johnny F. Face, they were so mad. And, once again, it's, same principle for the open carry. Everybody gets so frustrated and so upset about somebody lawfully carrying a firearm or lawfully carrying a camera and recording their public officials, or just recording in public, period. That is a constitutionally protected right. And what these officers did today was completely against the Constitution. I've made probably about 6 or 7 phone calls to that department, and I'm like, hey, these are violations. And I was really trying to do my best to try to help get a hold of somebody there to help de-escalate what was going on there. But obviously they either didn't care, or they were like, whatever. But they'll get their day in court as well. As soon as I get the officers' names and all that good stuff, I'll put that in there. After I put this video up, I'll put I'll put the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department information, address, phone numbers, all that good stuff. That way you can make your own public records request, or, anything of that nature. And I feel for these guys. I really do. I was completely shocked about all of this. I mean, I was literally watching it on the big screen, and I'm like, I was seeing it getting escalated, and then I was just like, I'm going to stop. I'm going to try to stop this now. And I'm on the phone, and I'm like talking to the guy, and I'm like, I'm literally watching this live stream right now, man. I'm like, your cops are trying to violate his rights. They have all this documentation stating that they can do it, and your officers don't even want to read it. And, same principles happened with me, where I've had the documentation of whatever. I'm like, hey, just read the statute. And they're like, oh, this is too much work. Oh, I don't want to read it. And I really think what it breaks down to is that these officers have been bullied and picked on their whole life. They have this thing about authority, and they want to, like, I don't care about your rights. I'm the law. They take a 6-month course to get a friggin' gun and a badge to become tyrants. Now, I'm not saying all, but I'm saying a lot of these officers, they all took an oath to uphold the Constitution. And when they violate people's First Amendment or Second Amendment or Fourth Amendment, we're going to hold them accountable. Even for myself, I'm losing that respect, because for me, even for law enforcement, I try to respect them because their job is hard. But at the same time, if they aren't smart enough and they don't have that education to even read anything and understand law, like, they don't even have to be lawyers. They just have to be able to read and understand. All laws are very, very simplistic and straight to the point. There's not a lot of legal mumbo jumbo in there. Most of the time you can just read it verbatim and understand your rights. These officers did not even, I don't think they can read. They probably got a high school education. We're like, I'm not going to make it in college because I'm just going to get picked on even more. I'm going to go get a gun and a badge, and I'm going to basically put people in jail, arrest them, give them friggin' tickets. It's unreal what these officers are doing. And I don't agree with it. And just to let everybody know, who's ready for another Tampa adventure? Because that's where we're going. Next time, it's not going to be, I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to look into property lines of that port. And I don't care if they know I'm coming, because I'm going to go. And I'm going to walk around, and I'm going to walk from one side to the other, up and down it. Obviously, I can't be on their property because there's no fishing on their property. But I'm going to be as close as I possibly can, because, these cops were tyrants, and they're friggin', they don't need a badge. They need to be locked up. Basically, they violated some rights, and they went against the Constitution. That's basically treasonous. And, I was about to say it, but I'm not going to say it. We've got Hiram Rodriguez. He's here. Yeah, no racist stuff here, man. There's somebody else saying some stupid stuff the other day. Just no racist. If you guys are going to be stupid and say stupid stuff, you know, I'm going to get my moderators, and eventually you'll just end up getting banned and you'll never see another video. But yeah, color doesn't make a difference about anything. We're all human. Human rights. It's human rights, not black rights, white rights, yellow rights. It's human rights. And if you want to be ignorant and stupid and say some stupid racist stuff, all my moderators, go ahead and take care of them. You know, get them out of here, because I don't want to hear their bullshit either. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, we're gonna get back to this stuff, and like I said, yeah, James Madison, he's here. This is the phone number you guys need to call. I'm gonna leave this up for you. Call him. I'm not telling you to call him, but if you'd like to get that FOIA or that public records request, that's the number you're gonna need to call. And you know, that's all I could say about that. But hey, poor dirt farmer. Hey. Yeah, man, friggin' all that stuff that went down today was friggin' crazy, dude. I was literally watching it live, and it friggin' frustrated the heck out of me. I've got links in the description below. These guys will probably need some kind of legal help, or even just bail money to help them get out of jail at this point. I don't know if they have the money or they have the legal defense team to help them get out, but I won't sit back and let them just sit in there suffering. So what I saw today was just a complete violation of people's civil rights. The video to the arrest is in the link below. Rouge Nation, he has a donation page. Donate to Rouge Nation, donate to Dr. Shawn Berry if you can. As soon as I can, like I said, I'm not the richest guy, but I am going to try to throw him at least $5-10, because every penny from, you know, he's got 20,000 plus subscribers. Dr. Shawn Berry, he's starting to get new to this, or he's not new to it, but he only has a few hundred. He's going to need, all these guys are going to definitely need some help. And if you can, in the links below, there's going to be places you can donate. I created a GoFundMe page for the Dr. Shawn Berry and Rouge Nation. And then if you look at Rouge Nation, he's got his own. So send it to, if you're going to donate to Rouge, send it straight to Rouge. If you're going to donate to Dr. Shawn Berry, put it down under Dr. Shawn Berry, because that way we can help get these guys, because they didn't deserve what they got today. You know, even for me, the things that I've gone through, you know, they're not deserved. You know, when you've done absolutely nothing wrong, you follow the law, you go beyond getting all the information to know if you're doing something right or wrong. That's what they did. Before they went into this building, they already had paperwork from the tax collector. They had paperwork from the Port Authority of Tampa, that none of it said that they couldn't record inside the public areas. Inside the private, like the restricted area, not even, I guess, well, the restricted areas, unless you had a ticket to get on that cruise ship, you couldn't go past these certain parts of these doors. They weren't even near the door. And once again, these cops are just out there, and they're rogue. And I'm sick of it, man. I'm getting really sick of it. Yeah, no, Chris Harris, no, they may own firearms, but none of these guys, they go out and do First Amendment audits. They don't try to open carry while they're fishing. These guys are First Amendment auditors, and I can't say if they do or don't, because I don't know. I don't care if they do. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not hurting me. They're not hurting anybody else. They're just out there expressing their First Amendment right to record in public, to record their public officials, to go into government buildings that we, the people, pay for. You know, I've got a video, or I'm hoping I caught the rest of it, and I'm talking to a lady, and she's like, "Oh, I'm just a civilian." And I'm like, "Well, who do you work for?" She said some company. And I was like, "Who hired that company?" Hillsborough Sheriff's Department hired you. You just became a public servant. You just became part of the public. I can record you. I can do everything that I do to police, I can do to you. And I'm asking for this FOIA request, and I'm just like, listen to me. I don't care about your back jar. I don't care. This is what I want. And I told her, I was like, I want the video cameras of the port. I want all that information. I want the disciplinary files on all these officers, on all 3 of them. I want the police report. Another crazy thing is this county doesn't even have body cams. Like, when are they going to friggin' wake up and get a body cam? And, it's their protection as well. But at the end of the day, let's just say they delete any of the footage that are on any of their cameras. Well, how do they now? How are they able? Thank goodness they were doing a live stream, and that live stream will be documentation, even if they do delete it. But that's the seriousness of it. Is these cops they want to make something? And they were like, oh, delete all this footage. What could happen? Now it's the police's word over. It's the sovereign citizen. These cops are a bunch of sovereign citizens that think they're above the law, and then we the people have to prove our innocence over these sovereign citizens, which is a bunch of BS. And yeah, it's just a bunch of BS. So, poor dirt farmer says, yeah, we film everything, and I would tell that to everybody, anybody and everybody here. Document your officials, your police, your politicians, anybody that works for the government that wants to try to put that wool over your eyes. That is what we need to start doing. Is we need to start holding these people accountable. And once again, they're gonna deal with a whole different lawsuit. And that's why I say, if you can donate to these guys, donate to them, please. $1 or $2, whatever, if you can. I know you guys, some of you donated to me. I appreciate it. These guys are going to be in a whole different world right now, because once again, they have to get out of jail, and then they're going to go through a long civil suit, and hopefully, and by the end of it, they should win. But you know how our government can be. Yeah. James Madison's saying he's talking to poor dirt farmer. It's probably going to be about $500 to get out of jail, and that's probably money they're not going to see back. They're probably dealing with like a $5,000 bond, or a $5,000 bail, or a $500 bond, 10%, and then they got to put collateral down and all that stuff. But these guys aren't running. Eventually, they're gonna that whole department is going to deal with a bunch of stuff. So, yeah, Tyrants in Blue, man. It's just so unreal. And the crazy thing is that we were just there on Saturday, and we were all open carrying our fire, carrying AR-15s and handguns everywhere, and just walking around talking with people, fishing. And there was probably over a dozen police officers there. They were all Tampa police, but we didn't have one issue. And we were all carrying guns, and these 2 guys go in and express their First Amendment right. And I guess police officers and the whole world is just triggered by a camera. And for people that I guess don't realize it, there are cameras everywhere. We are video recorded and taped everywhere you go. I mean, they've got police cars that just have little cameras that drive around, and they drive up and down blocks. And if your registration's expired, or you got a suspended license, or you anything, so at this point, the government is basically recording us, and we're going to start recording them more and more. And we need to hold these police accountable. We need to try to do what we can to try to help Rouge Nation. Give him all the support you can. Dr. Shawn Berry, give him all the support you can. I know that once after it all kind of calms down a little bit, I know I will be going back, and it will be sometime within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, to maybe beginning of December. But one way or the other, I'm coming back to Tampa, and I will be going as close as I can to that Port Canaveral, and I don't care about their feelings. My rights trump our rights trump their feelings. And for law enforcement, they work for us. We don't work for them, period. So, man, I'm really so frustrated right now. I mean, my head hurts. Yeah, I know. Hold on. You want the babas? But hopefully, these officers will learn, and hopefully they won't have a job, because that $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 that we pay them, that comes out of my check, and they do stupid stuff like this. They need to go work at McDonald's or be a friggin' doorman at friggin' Walmart or something. Go do something where you're actually needed instead of somewhere where you're not, because we don't need people like that. Hey, Rambo Rob, go ahead and just ban this guy Joe. I don't know who Joe is. If he's saying stupid racist stuff, and once again, I care, like, if you want to make a couple jokes here and there, blah blah blah, a couple jokes here and there, but once again, if you start bringing racist things, or you're talking about inflicting harm, I won't accept that. I mean, I try to be I don't moderate my channel. I let people mostly say what they want, and but the second you start dealing with people being that you're trying to say people should be killed or should be shot or should be physically hurt for doing something that's not illegal, then you got to go. Those are the people that we don't need. I mean, those people are, once again, those are probably cops. They're all butthurt about whatever, and they're just pissed off at the world that nobody liked them, and they were losers in their world. So I'm not going to be on here too long. I really want to try to get this out there, because this just happened. It looks like the stream ended 3 hours ago. So at the end of his stream, it's been 3 hours, and there was, I think, 3 auditors outside. There were John Felix and a couple others, and they were all out there documenting, and they watched him get arrested, and they watched him get put in the car, and they watched him drive off, and this is truly unfortunate, and I'm really hoping. I've been calling Rogue I've tried to call him for like the last 20 minutes, but his phone's going straight to voicemail, so they obviously turned his phone off. And since they did that, the only way people are going to hear from him is when he gets out. So I'm hoping to get a phone call from him saying that he's all good, that, and he's going to, obviously, if you haven't subscribed to Rouge Nation, that way you will know exactly, you'll know exactly what happened and what's coming, because I don't know. I just know that from what I was watching, and they had all this documentation, everything that the documentation they had stated that they could be where they were at. They had documentation that it was I want to say it was like entrance 3 or something to that effect. Entrance 3 was actually paid for by the city or the state, which allows the public people to go in and record and do whatever they want in the public areas. Anything that's publicly accessible as a First Amendment auditor, you are more than welcome to be. If the police have an issue with it, sorry about their luck. Learn the Constitution, honor your oath. So good. I'm glad Joe's gone, Rob. Appreciate that. Chris Harris says Google has billion subcontractors through CB. The government is using their thousands of petabyte storage to collect our data forever. Google Cloud is public, and it's their private stuff. Scary. And Google's the same way. I mean, it's hard to do anything about Google, but Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, they all have, like, Snapchat specifically has facial recognition. All those little selfies and all the things. I don't have Snapchat. I don't deal with that, but they all do recognition, and just even if you think you delete something, it never gets deleted off the internet. The internet's going to hold that on there forever. So Hemi Power, he's hanging out. Yeah. All right, Harrison Danko, please excuse me for my ignorance. Is this the kid who goes fishing with his guns in Florida, blonde, hippie looking? No, I've never open carried with any of those guys. But I guarantee after this little debacle, I'll buy both of these guys fishing licenses, and I'll gladly strap a rifle on to both of them, because at the end of the day, those guys, what they dealt with, and those officers, is a bunch of BS, and we're gonna hold those. Hopefully, they hold those cops friggin' accountable. That's what I really would tell you. I want those cops to be held accountable for this, because it was a bunch of bullshit. Okay, we've got W Kentucky Watcher. Dr. Shawn Berry has a bond of $500. It's on the HCSO website. W Kentucky, if you can, type in a link in the, like, type it, put all that information in there so that everybody here can go to it and see what's going on, what they got charged with, all that good stuff. Because like I said, I've been on the phone with them, and when I was on the phone with the public records department, they were like, "Oh, we don't have a record of it yet. I don't have a record of it yet." And I'm like, "Trust me, there's going to be a record of it. Stop talking. Listen to what I want to tell you, what I want, and we'll go from there." And I've got that all documented on audio recording. So these guys are gonna. I'm pissed. Like, I'm beyond. Like, if I could literally. Yeah, babies, come on. We're gonna hop up here because we're gonna get off soon. We'll let everybody, and you're just making all those types of noises. All right, but yeah, yeah, it is crazy. Oh, Hemi Power, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that, dude. That's huge, man. And I'm gonna need a couple more beers because it's just insane. And for anybody that doesn't know, if you've ever had something like this ever happen, let me know, because those are the places that I want to go, because I'm going to let them learn that you can't just violate people. You can't do things like this to people. We pay their salary. These cops get paid lots of money, and they're supposed to uphold the Constitution that they took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and they just trampled on two people's friggin' constitutional right. Like, that's tyranny. That's treason. We know what all happens to treasonous people. I'm not saying doing it. I'm just saying they can't do this. I mean, they obviously can, because they're sovereign citizens. They always try to point fingers at the person that, whether it be a First Amendment, Second Amendment auditor that doesn't want to adhere to their commands that are unlawful. Specifically whenever it's a First Amendment protected activity, Second Amendment protected they think that you're the sovereign citizen. No, I have to follow the law. I have to follow the rights. I have to follow all constitutional rights, all the laws that I feel, especially in the gun world, I feel are unconstitutional. But I have to follow those too, or I can go to jail for a felony, and I'm not willing to give up my rights. I'll follow the law until somebody can change the laws back to where I can express my rights the way the Constitution was written. And for these guys, this First Amendment protected activity, and you would think Tampa of all places would know, and they obviously just don't care. They just like giving away everybody, all the taxpayers' money. They're like, "Oh, it's not coming out of our paycheck. Fuck it. Let's violate all the rights and take up all the lawsuits." And that's where this is going to probably end up really bad. And it's probably going to take some time. I mean, this could be an ongoing litigation for years. So, yeah. Liberty Smith saying she is a cutie. She's my little babies. She's my little babies. Say hi. Hi. Yay. But she is amazing. And, that's why I'm going to try to defend what I can defend. I want my daughter to have the same rights that I have right now. I want her to have more rights than I have right now. And these First Amendment auditors, Second Amendment auditors, these cop watchers, the cop accountability people, anybody that holds our government responsible for the actions that they take, that is what this is all about. That's why, I personally don't want police interactions, because when I do police interactions, sometimes they show up and they start pointing guns at me, and thankfully these guys didn't have any guns pointed, but once again, they're not doing anything unlawful. You know, they're carrying cameras. They're very, you know, they don't hide it. So, yeah, yep, absolutely. That little pen rod that looks like a pen, keep it in your pocket. Open. Yes, you can. I would suggest having it like it at the top of your shirt or something. I wouldn't stick it in your pocket, because then you have to reach in your pocket and the whole cop thing. You know how cops are. They're like, oh, he was reaching for something. And so, but yes, you can use that pen rod, and you can open carry long as you are going to a fishing spot. Long as you have intent to go fishing, yes, you can carry that pen rod and you can open carry. Don't go into any stores. Don't stop at the gas station to get gas. Don't stop at the tackle shop to get any bait. Make sure you have all the stuff you need before you start, and then once you're ready to go fishing, go have a good time, take your little walk. Always be careful when you're open carrying and you're taking walks. Be very careful about schools, especially specifically elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. Those are the three that I stay away from. I stay as far away as I can from them. By law, if you have a concealed weapons license, you can be within 1,000 feet. You can be all the way up until the property line with a firearm, openly carrying or concealed carrying, because you have a concealed weapons license, but you cannot be on the property. If you do not have a concealed weapons license, you cannot be within 1,000 feet of any public or private schools. That's elementary, middle, and high schools, or secondary, whatever. Elementary, middle, and high. Those are the three schools I stay clear of, and everybody here, I would stay clear of those unless you do have a CCW while you are open carrying. You're more than welcome to walk past them, but I would suggest completely avoiding them if you have to take a block over and just to get around it, because you're only allowed to be within 1,000 feet, which is like, just under a quarter mile or something like that. But, yeah. Yeah, I'll give her a kiss for you, Angel. That's from Angel. Here's one from Angels. Yeah, you're my little stinker bugs. You're my little stinker bugs. Yay! But yeah, you guys are amazing. I truly appreciate it. If you guys can help out Rouge Nation, help out Dr. Shawn Berry. They just both got arrested today. CB, you're extremely lucky. Tennessee Rick, if you just joined in, Rouge Nation and Dr. Shawn Berry got arrested for doing a First Amendment protected activity in a public area of the port of Tampa at the Carnival cruise line. I believe after I'm done with all this, I'll be sure to put all the Hillsborough Police Sheriff's Department information in the links below. I did a FOIA request. That number will be the same, or I did a public records request. That number is the same number you're going to need to make a public records request through their department. They're going to try to tell you to send them an email, do whatever you want. I don't like giving them emails. They can always just call me back. I never give them my real name, but yeah, at this point, it doesn't really matter. Wow, they slammed the hell down. Chris Harris says, wow, they slammed the hell down on your rights there in Florida. I guess terrorists or something about murder. Someone must keep themselves 1,000 feet from everything too. And, that would be one thing. Yeah, that would, thank you, Drone Wolf Media. I appreciate that, dude. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, my baby doll, she's amazing. And she wiggles. She's my little wiggle worms. My little wiggle worms. Yeah. Smiling. Are you smiling at everybody? But yeah. No, thank you, Drone Wolf Media. Travis T, if you don't know, Ro he got arrested down in Tampa. He went to the Carnival cruise line there at the port. They had been there, I guess, prior to that. And they got told to leave or whatever, and they left, and then they came back. This is a revisit, And but this time they went back with documentation from the Port Authority of Tampa. They have all these printouts. They went to the tax collector as well. The tax collector clearly states that they are getting money from the state, and whenever that does happen, that entity becomes a state funded area. Like, I can do these things in public. They went to Rogue Nation went to a Salvation Army that had some kind, I want to say it was a probation office in it. I think it was probation, and that is something that the public can go to, is a probation office. But Salvation Army as a standalone property is private. Oh wow, I think you just made a Stinkies. Is a private entity. Salvation Army. If there's not a public, a tax collector, a probation office, or something like that, if there's nothing attached to that Salvation Army, it is a public, or it's private. But the second they add a public entity onto it, and the government is either subsidizing any of it, it becomes a public entity, and you are more than welcome to go into those. Invictus Media, he just hopped up. Wow, man, that was a good one. I can feel that. I am gonna have to try to cut this short, guys. I think she's taking a big dumper on me. She's over here passing gas or something. I just feel this little. But on a serious note, Dr. Shawn Berry, all these guys are gonna need a lot of help. Maybe not a lot, but they will need some support from you guys. So get to their channel, subscribe, let them know that Solo Yacker sent you. Any money that is donated, if you can donate it directly to Rogue Nation, to his PayPal, please send it to him. There's another link for Dr. Shawn Berry. If you want to donate to him, that money is coming. It's under my name because I created it for them, but the money is not coming to me. It's going to them. This is going to be for any kind of legal stuff that they have, any legal fees, anything like that. Or any for bail money, whatever I can do to help get these guys either out or help them get some legal defense. I'm sure they would probably do the same for me. And I respect all these guys. I respect anybody and everybody that goes out there and puts themselves out there. I respect everybody, but your First Amendment auditors, your Second Amendment auditors, I have a lot of respect because we do put ourselves out there. And it is very possible for us to go to jail for doing these protected. I mean, it's only because the cops don't know any better and they're stupid, But, yeah. American Amy, I believe, American Amy, were you there? I think you were one of the women that were actually hanging out there. I'm not sure. I was trying to listen for who you were, but I didn't hear your name. I called them at least 6 times, and I mean, obviously it went in one ear and out the other. They don't listen, and they can't read, and they can't listen. So and once again, they have to just take 6 months to get a gun and a badge. And so W Kentucky Watcher says everybody, if you can, type in HCSO arrest inquiry, and then you should be able to find any information that you need from there. This just happened. It happened right around about 1 o'clock. From 1 o'clock until about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, there should be some kind of record of these guys, going through the process. Poor Dirt Farmer. I don't know of Dr. Shawn Berry if he has any kind of like PayPal or anything, but I did create a GoFundMe for both of them, but I put that one under Dr. Shawn Berry. And then if you look at Rogue Nations, he's got his own PayPal. I believe it's patriotdiscussions@gmail.com, or type in Rogue Nation under PayPal, and that should bring it up as well. Do what you can for these guys. Whatever you can. If it's $1, it's $1. If it's 50 cents, it's anything is going to be, like I said, is probably going to go help to try to make sure that these guys have a legal team that actually will take these guys to court and actually make a precedent. Because at this point, You know, there's going to probably be quite a few people. It's going to be those 3 officers at Hillsborough County and probably Carnival Cruise Line, because they're the ones that created the rules, and Rogue Nation and those guys were just following the rule. So yeah, stay vigilant, locked and loaded every day, all day. But Hemi Power, I thank you, brother, for being here. And once again, I thank all of you. Hit that thumbs up on this channel. Go to Dr. Shawn Berry, go to Rogue Nation, subscribe to their channels. Tell them I sent you. Tell them that I'm trying to do what I can to help get them some money so that they can get either out of jail or get themselves a lawyer, or any kind of legal team to help them fight these tyrant cops, because we really need to start starting to hold these officers and public officials accountable for their stupid actions. You know, if they don't want to, if they can't even honor the oath that they took, then they don't even need to be working there. So B Squared says his PayPal is under Rogue Nation 69 or patriotsdiscussions@gmail.com. You can find it probably both ways. But yeah, thank you very much, Invictus Media. And you know, once again, I don't just look out. I mean, I've done videos on other people's getting violated, and you know, between armed cyclists and a couple others, I'll probably be doing a follow-up video on this later after I get all the public information from the request I had. So let's see. Chris Harris says, here we go. Booking number, race, sex, date of birth, booking remains, remarks, 2019 37196. That is going to be the case. And then once again, I believe, I don't want to say Rogue's name on this, but Rogue Nation should be under the same number as well. So you should be able to find both of these guys under that case number, unless they gave him a different case number. But once again, they're going to probably be around the same. And it looks like they already, that was his date of birth. I guess booking date, release date, release code, release remarks. They may have already been released. I don't know. I'm going to have to do all this I'm going to get on here after I'm done with this and go check it out for myself. They could be still there. They possibly may not. But if not, reach out to them, let them know that we are looking out for them. You know, we don't want to see any of this, dude. Like, I don't want to see anybody ever get arrested for doing nothing wrong. These guys weren't creating a scene. They weren't being belligerent. They weren't cussing. They were just out there, and they weren't going to back down from expressing their rights. And especially if it's lawful, they had all this documentation. They had documentation from the Port Authority and from the tax collector that clearly stated that place was under state funding. So that makes it a state entity. And then they actually went to the Port Authority that, in nothing that they said there was nothing that said that they could not record in there. So I'm just gonna get done with this. Let you guys, everybody, go out there. And I'm really hoping everything goes well for those guys. So once again, I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for everybody that sent me a few bucks here and there. I appreciate it. It does go a long way. You know, I'm going to do my best to make sure that I keep you informed on what's going on, but I'm going to, Chris Harris says, wait, what do you got for me, Chris? Come on, buddy. What do you got? I'm waiting for what? But yeah. Oh yeah. B Squared. The cops not only took his camera, they turned off his camera, and that's going to be once again, these are violations that are just, they stacked a bunch of them. I mean, there are too many. Just, yeah, if you guys can click on, this is the number you need, 2019-37196, and it will show you everything. All right, everybody. I'm gonna write that down so I can put that link in the description after I'm done here. So that was 2019-37196. And roughly, I'll let you know what I have learned about, doing public record request, and anytime there's a report done behind it. That 37196 is how many incidences they have had. This was the 37,196 incident they've had in 2019. So they've got, obviously, I'm sure some of those were justified, but this one was not. So they're gonna pay for it. Trespass and litter. I don't know what they were littering, dude. They were. Oh man, yeah. Everyone be safe. Yeah. Chris Harris says the status, they're still in jail right now. So, like I said, I'm gonna do what I can. I don't have a crap ton of money. I'm probably gonna end up sending like $5-10. But if we all his subscribers and everybody else that's around in the community, if we all kind of chip in $1 or $2 here and there, if the 12,000 that I have all chipped in $1, that's $12,000 that they would have for their bail and their legal thing. So thank you, Layla from Switzerland. Big hug. Thanks for joining in. I am going to go ahead and get off right now. Check out that, like I said, that thing. It was 2019-37196. It will be in the link below. That way you can kind of figure it out. Where you can donate money is in the link below. There's a Rouge Nation's donation page where you can help him. And then I've made a GoFundMe for Rouge Nation and Dr. Shawn Berry right underneath that. If you please, let's help these guys. Let's help them get out, and let's help them get a lawsuit and let it stick it to Hillsborough. So I'm gonna say I love you guys. Don't forget, hit that like, share, and that subscribe. Get over to those guys' channel, subscribe to them, tell them Solo Yacker sent you, and I will see all of you on the flip side.
Solo Yacker deuces.
Deuces. Solo Yacker deuces.
Failed.
It was